Hey, thanks for checking out healthreconnected.com. So, our website fully discloses the geometric patterns that make consciousness and free will possible. Now, the geometry of free will is created by these two inverse patterns, okay? There's a self-based pattern and there's a whole-based pattern, and these two patterns are interconnected by these five Plutonic shapes. Now, I say five because this shape right here, the tetrahedron, is repeated. Okay, these create what we call a self pair. These create a dual pair, and these shapes create a dual pair. Now, what these shapes do is they allow us to have a conscious experience. So they create what we believe to be our physical reality. These bottom shapes, they relate to our own physical body. These top shapes relate to our environment that we share. So we all have a physical body that we perceive, and then we have a shared environment that we all share together. And then these two shapes right here, what they do is they integrate our individual and our collective physical existence together. Once this happens, what it does is it allows us to consciously experience and have what we would consider to be free will. Now, when you realize how free will works, you'll realize it's not really free. It really takes a lot of effort to use will. We're going to explain that in just a second. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show how these two patterns affect our choices. So this is the self-based pattern, and it creates a selfish perspective. And you can see why it creates a selfish perspective. So these shapes that interconnect these two patterns together in the selfish side or the self-based choice side, do you see how the shapes are segregated from one another? So when we think selfishly, we think, well, I can do this for my body and I can do this for my environment, and it doesn't matter what other people do. My choices are just going to affect me. The pattern fools us into believing that our choices are separated and they're not connected. So that's what creates human nature or selfishness. Now, it's also very important to understand that we have an unconscious system of control called the fight or flight mechanism. And that unconscious system is actually what gets us to want to think in this defensive way where our choices are separate from everybody else. The other option that you have for free will is to decide to use whole-based choice. Now, what we're going to do here is I want you to see how this pattern doesn't separate these shapes, it actually combines them. Do you see how it aligns with the petals on this flower? And when you look over here, the petals of this flower actually separate the shapes. So, a whole-based thinker or somebody who understands that their body is also connected to the environment and then their choices have to reflect that understanding, there is no part of our body that reinforces this. On the self-based side, we have this unconscious system of control, the fight or flight mechanism that's constantly pushing us to be negative, and negative means to separate these shapes apart. And that's why free will is so hard. So, for example, if somebody has an experience and they get agitated and they say, "Well, I don't want to talk to that person anymore." What they've done is they've segregated their view and they say, "Well, I don't that person's not important." And they really haven't executed free will. What they've done is they've allowed their defensive control, the unconscious system of their body, to direct their will for them. So our consciousness exists within a construct. If you understand and you achieve this is the purpose of our existence, is to overcome our selfish desire and our unconscious system of control. And if we do it, what happens is that we get to exist in our next conscious state in a place where everything is connected. It'd be like a heaven-like state. If you don't, you stay here in this side, in the selfish side, and your consciousness learns in a place where it suffers and it's tormented, and that's the hell-like side. Now, the website that we put together has created technology that will confirm every time that you act on selfish intention that there are consequences for that. And every time you act on whole-based choice or selfless intention, that there are rewards for that. All right. That's a little intro to what Health Reconnected is all about. We've got all the technology, we've got every step in place. All you have to do now is understand how to free yourself from this selfish pattern of destruction, chaos, aging, suffering, disease, and death, and figure out how to transition and transform your mind to a selfless perspective that will bring you peace, prosperity, and a future that's better for you and all the other people that make it to that conscious existence with you. Thanks for checking us out.